Alright, then let's get right to it. The meatpacking industry. Upton Sinclair's The Jungle ended up exposing a lot of things in the meatpack industry. Now, here's an excerpt from The Jungle, chapter 14. Please pause it to read it. Other than the fact that that was completely and utterly disgusting, there's also one other shocking part about the entire thing, and that is rats. Rats. They're disgusting, bad, gross, but they also have one more thing that is really bad, and that is they carry diseases like salmonella, which no one wants in their freaking food. It could also be said that everything in the book was a hoax and that Sinclair lied, which would make all the findings in The Jungle dismissible because they're all lies. But the book became so wildly popular, in fact, that ended up catching the eyes of the 26th President Theodore Roosevelt, who would then send in two investigators to a meat packing house directly. And from the scribe from the report, one shocking thing, not only did they have time beforehand knowing that they would be coming, but the conditions in there were just as bad, and if not worse, than when it was described in the book, which is just insane, isn't it? Sinclair, the author, would end up leaking some information off to the New York Times in late May of 1906. Now, monopoly men would not change their business practices unless profits were an issue. Countries like France ended up banning American meat products, and British imports of American canned meat ended up ceasing. Now, let's talk about the impact of what regulatory sanitation in areas such as this would actually do to the American public. First of all, the most obvious thing that I end up thinking about is diseases. Rats do not spread just salmonella. They have a whole host of other disgusting diseases. They carry fleas as well, which, if you don't remember, fleas transmit the bubonic plague, which is not good. As well as mentioning that there is poisoned bread mixed in with the meat because they need to kill the rats off somehow, so they just poison bread and leave it into the containers as well. Not only are you eating rat feces, disease, you're eating poison straight from the can. This brings a lot of health risks, not only to healthy adults, but also kids, because kids do not have a fully developed immune system. They're barely growing. A lot of kids would end up dying from this. And the impact of having regulatory sanitationary practices in places such as these, not only just the meatpacking industry, but in other industries as well, would be just better food to eat, period. But just not carrying the risk of getting sick from eating canned meat or drinking a dairy product and not possibly dying because the food that you were consuming was contaminated by rat poison. In actual history, though, what ended up happening was the first meat inspection acts and the formation of the FDA. Interestingly, though, the FDA was founded on June 30th of 1906. I guess the entire year was just filled with a lot of controversy of meat products.